coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. So I decided, with some kind of breaking revelations, breaking information. Finally. Hey gamer, hey everybody. I decided, due to me getting some information, to go live. Now, I will have an upload for you to continue what we looked at yesterday. We're going to continue uploading on UNIRock2 to the Idaho exploitation. These people exploiting Idaho and these poor people that had this happen to them. And putting a focus on non-live, kind of compact, to the point videos on UNIRock2. I want to let you know, we have the original source of the audio that Betty put out yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? Yeah, she might have put it out the day before. I think it was yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, at least. The audio that Betty put out, I decided not to play it. Thank goodness. And one thing about that audio, I couldn't figure out why. She started a live stream and went through all this garbage. And an hour and 40 minutes into the stream, she decided to finally play the audio. Now, here's the thing about her playing that audio. I couldn't figure out yesterday why, when I got off that stream and listened to her, you know, giving the audio, like, because afterwards I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to listen to the audio, right? I said to myself, why does she keep, every second she paused the audio and started to talk over it? And this is an hour and 40 minutes into her video. So she clickbaited in, she got people to come in, she made them wait almost 2 hours, and when she finally played the audio, every second she paused it. And now I know why. Now I know why she did that. Because the audio is reportedly now fake. The original source of the audio posted it on December 30th, and it was, I guess, a post to show that a neighbor had gotten into an altercation with someone and post audio for whatever reason. So now I believe that what happened was someone went to the internet looking for audio that they could claim was the ring cam that, or I'm sorry, the doorbell cam, the ring bing ding dong cam that leaked, that the police mentioned that they had footage and audio from related to Idaho. And I believe someone went and listened to other pieces of audio until they found something that they could use as clickbait with that audio they found, and then upload it to get some views, to get some money, to get some clicks. You follow me? And that could explain why, when I originally heard about Betty uploading this audio, it almost seemed like an original search. People said that the audio was on TikTok, and then it was all over TikTok, and it could have been. It could have been. But I think that the people who posted it either went out and got that audio themselves, knowing it was fake, and decided to post it with a lot of pauses in it and an hour and 40 minutes into the video, into their live stream, because they knew it was fake, because they faked it, or because they knew it was fake and just wanted it to be a little more, you know, if they break it up when you're listening to it, you're not gonna, like when I first heard it, I was actually, you know, trying to analyze it a little bit, and I started to call out all kinds of problems with that audio from the beginning. And so in the end, what we have is a very sus-looking Betty. We have a very guilty-looking BullHorn Betty. And this wouldn't be the first, second, third, fourth, 20th, 30th, 50th time she's done very disgusting things to monetize these kinds of issues. We already know she's very heartless, very nasty, mean person, very careless, doesn't care about the people that go through these kind of issues. That's why they exploit it for money like they do in her past behavior. So it's not shocking. But the thing that I know some of you may not know about is it's not just Betty. The entire pimp squad, tragedy pimp squad, started to use that audio. Dolly, I believe, I was just told in my live chat before the stream that Dolly did. We don't really look at Dolly that much here. I guarantee you we will. We will sometime very soon, but we haven't been. But our good friend Molly GOLIGHTLY, let's get this queued up for you. our good friend of the channel, Molly GOLIGHTLY, decided that she was going to use the audio to make money. And how she did it is either equally as disgusting, or what you may say is even more disgusting than what Betty did. It is 1/8 of 2023. I'm your host, UNIRock, broadcasting from the East Coast of the United States of America. As always, wherever you're from is a beautiful, awesome place, just like my home. Though, instead of playing you a nice long intro, we're going to slide right into it because I'm trying to, get to the point quicker in these streams. Now, the thing about Molly doing this, it's really bad. She charged her $50 Patreon. She locked it behind her Patreon, which I have been told very recently was still $50 to join. So she took this audio, and by the time she started posting it, it was pretty easy to figure out that it was fake. She rushed over her Patreon and locked it behind a $50 paywall. That's not all. Because then she says, after she tells people about the audio, after she says, if you want to hear the audio, you have to go to my Patreon and pay to hear it. Very quickly after, she says, oh, thank you all for subscribing to my Patreon. And it's so gross. It's so gross that I have to play the clip for you. But let's hear it. Let's see it. Let's hear it. Let's get it. I think this is it. So Molly played the clip of the screaming, allegedly from the Idaho. Then the link's on Patreon. So she's essentially selling the link. And if you don't want to call it selling, we can say she's using it to garnish monthly Patreon subs. I think she's selling.
Yeah, you definitely hear Ethan screaming. That was horrible.
No, you didn't definitely hear him screaming. There is no way to tell who that is. There is no way to tell. There's no. I'm going to give you guys some stuff here in a minute. Just give me a second.
Oh my God, that was heart-wrenching.
Why is there a female laugh?
I need the charger. I'm sorry.
I think she was gasping.
Then it sounded like somebody said, let's get the fuck out of here.
The link is on Patreon. Okay. The link's on Patreon. Oh my God. Thank you so much, you guys, for the new Patreons. Thank you. I just need 5 more.
You guys are going to have to share this. We're probably demonetized. Content we're showing you. There's a bunch of F-bombs that just dropped. I just checked. So you're going to have to let the peeps know we're live.
More Patreons. And I'll be right back where I need to be. Thank you so much. Okay, I got it. Cherry. Thank you, Charity. Okay. Yeah, you definitely hear.
So there's our first little piece of the puzzle with this thing. So she's definitely... if you ever thought that the reason that they do this insane stuff isn't to just blatantly make money off of the pain, suffering, and other details of these tragedies, you're wrong. It's literally in your face. There's no guessing, right? There's no assuming here. Also, Menace says, Team YouTube, will you allow a creator to stay on your platform after releasing what they say is leaked audio from the Idaho issue? A simple video deletion isn't enough when some poor kid's final screams are used on your platform to generate Patreon membership and CASHAPP donos. So far, I've seen BullHorn Betty, Zavgirl both playing this audio. Utilizing kids during their demise for clicks and views is vile and shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. Whether the audio is real or not, almost irrelevant, although it's possibly real. The LE did say they had audio. Now, is it real? Let's take a look at a couple things so that you can make up your mind on how you feel about whether it's real or not. After I read this to you, I will describe... I'll give you some thoughts. I'll give you some points to think about. And then we'll go and watch a video. So, the supposed leaked audio from the neighbor's outdoor cam is not related to the King Road house in Moscow. This is the original owner of the audio. She posted this on her Facebook on December 30th. She reached out and wanted people to know that her recording is not related. She does not reside anywhere near Moscow, and this audio was not taken the night of the issue. This is confirmed. It is the audio of a DV situation from her neighbors. She shared the audio clip as a way to show an example of how much noise an outdoor security cam could pick up from your neighbor's home. She's not wanting her audio to be used to help convince people that it's related to Idaho. She was using it as an example of not knowing that someone would try to use it in this kind of nefarious way. So not only do we have the original post from December 30th, not only do we have the fact that this audio has been out there since then, it's not even near Idaho. Not only do we have an exact match from the audio that BullHorn Betty, Molly Golightly, Dolly, and others were playing, claiming, literally without any fact checking. How long did it take us to debunk this? It literally took us less than a day to debunk this audio. They rushed the minute they had this in their hands, as they want you to think, and decided that they were going to put it an hour and 40 minutes into a live stream. And while they were playing it, pause it every second. Now, personally, I believe that they either knew that it was fake from the start, and they're just literally lying to everybody about this, or I believe they themselves faked this on purpose. I believe they went out seeking fake audio and then put this up as their choice, or they had found this and knowing it was fake, went ahead and pushed it. There's just too much there. There's too many questions. There wasn't any type of confirmation, nothing else there. But the thing that should get you the worst is the clip I just played of Molly trying to lock this behind her Patreon and getting a whole bunch of people to rush over, baiting the fake clip. Knowing Molly had to have known. If Molly would have done a simple search, she could have known that the audio was fake. And you're going to tell me that you don't think that Mrs. I care about the victims and I get mad at the family and I do all this, hadn't had a single thought process to try and respect the victims and make sure that the audio that she was posting was real or not, just by doing a basic search? In fact, it was so easy to find this that people on YouTube have already started to call out people for using this audio. So let's now go to Couch Clips, who has a minute and 30 seconds here presentation. And I believe they're going to show you the same thing that I just showed you. But, you know, let's just take a look. Couch Clips. Make sure you support them for uploading this. Audio is fake. It's got nothing to do with Idaho. Here's the proof. Stop hurting people. They can't stop because it's the only thing that they can do to make money. They can't get a real job. Their backgrounds, their violent tendencies, their behavior, their disgustingness stops them from getting any kind of job. And even if they could get a job, they don't keep it for that long. Now, if they go to YouTube and they exploit these kind of things, they can actually make money. If they were to try to do regular content, of course, they wouldn't get any views. Take a listen. Okay, so they're going to actually play the audio. I want to skip that. So they play the audio. They play the audio from December 30th of 22, according to this post. According to the post, of course. They prove it all, though. They show the thing I just showed you. They show the publication that I just showed you. And there you go. So they went even further to show that this post isn't the only thing out there to show that the audio is fake. Even further, they have the original post from 12/30 of 2022. They played the audio to match it up so that you could hear it. So there you go. Over, done. Door shut. Door slammed. It's done. Betty, there is no way Betty is any kind of investigator whatsoever. There is no way that Molly is any kind of investigator. There is no way that these people should be able to keep doing what they're doing. And I do believe that Menace is right for tagging Team YouTube. If you want to help him, you could go to my Twitter at UNIRocktv and go down and tag Team YouTube with him. Because unless people help people tag Team YouTube, it's almost impossible to get a hold of them, or it takes a long time when you finally do. Either way, this is the most exploitative thing I've seen on the platform that YouTube just won't act on. That they just takes forever for them to step in on. But I do think that we all know with YouTube's new rule changes, they don't want us to curse at all without, excuse me, being fully demonetized. They don't even want us cursing They used to let us curse after the 30-second mark. We had to watch what we said for the first 30 seconds to try to appease the advertisers. So if an ad plays, there's not stuff said right at the beginning. They don't even want us cursing through the whole video now. So we can't curse, but you can literally lie. You can post fake audio. The audio shouldn't have been posted in the first place. The audio should have been confirmed. I could go on and on and on and on and on and just complain at you, so I won't. But the point is, if any of you out there think that Molly and Betty did not know what they were doing, you can literally take their own criticisms of other people and know that they do understand that they need to fact check this stuff. They do understand how easy it is to fake this kind of thing. They've said it in the past. They've called out other people for it. Now they themselves, in a desperate bid for money, as I showed you, when Molly gets some patrons coming in, she's elated because, by her own admission, she's been losing lots of patrons and members, of course. Though, if you think that's all I got for you today, you're crazy. And since we're live, we might as well look at a few other things before we get out of here. And I got some really good videos for you. You know, it's almost like that stuff we talked about yesterday might have gotten through to some of the tragedy pimps because they have decided to further elaborate on why they targeted the mother. They've also decided to further elaborate on other decisions they've made in covering Idaho to make excuses for their behavior. And Navy just brought me one of the craziest things. Molly decided that she was going to post, well, after like stalking all of these kids, the ones that you know experienced this issue, she decided that she was just going to go in and try to get some, you know, clicks and views and money off of posting pictures of the people that were affected by this tragedy. Now, some of these pictures are, I have a lot I could say about them. Like, Molly literally didn't even bother to download them in their highest resolution. She didn't bother to put them in and actually keep them in a good format, and has degraded the pictures in rushing them into her slideshow. But if you think, now you tell me, why would anybody not talk, not speak, no commentary, just some little sad music and a bunch of pictures of these the victims, right? And if you look, she not only did one for 3 minutes, she did two for 5 minutes, and then she did part 3 for 16 minutes. Now, I will give her credit, Molly. I will give you some, thanks, James. I'll give you some credit here, Molly. You are really good at doxing and stalking and violating privacy and creeping on people. So I guess it's understandable how easy it was for you to go in and grab all of these. Then she wants to apologize. She's sorry for being mean, Brian's mother. But whoa, J-Dub, listening while I'm working, but wanted to thank you for staying on this. Hey, J-Dub, no problem. Without you guys here with me, without everybody, you know, working together on this, we got nothing. So thank you as much, buddy. Appreciate you, and hope you have a good day at work. So let's go in to what Molly had to say, because she's sorry for what she said about Brian's mother, but it's not because of what I said. It's not because of you criticizing Molly. She's sorry because her own audience was very triggered over this. They were very triggered because they have kids and grandkids. And what Molly was saying about Brian just happened to apply to those kids. Now, it's no secret that kids do dumb things. Kids can go out and they get in fights. They decide to try and break in to do crazy things, or they try to maybe go into someone's car and, you know, put dish liquid everywhere. I don't know. Kids do crazy stuff. They do pranks. They do things to impress other people. And so not only on top of these kinds of insane things that some kids do, you know, like what Brian did, which is very rare, there's still a lot of things. So Molly is just not smart enough. Betty is just not smart enough to understand that when you make these kind of criticisms that are based solely on a person being a mother of someone like this, you're also saying that lesser things that happen are also the fault of the mother. She had to do damage control. hardcore damage control. But you know what's really funny? She ended up admitting some things, and she ended up, let me just play it for you, because I think you're going to understand why I played this once you hear it.
All right. I'm just going to do a quick video because I know that I'm going to catch hell from Justin later on. Because he was bitching about the video that I made earlier about the killer's mom. Marissa, it's only been a week. I was like, you don't know how I feel.
Yeah, we don't care how you feel. Because the way you feel, the thing you're basing your feelings on is not correct. It's very wrong. It's very disrespectful. And it's just unintelligent. So, I mean, we know that you are compelled by your feelings and by what, you know, your entitledness, the thing that you, the perfect version of reality that you see in your brain for everybody except yourself, because you don't apply your own criticisms to yourself. Anyway.
And he doesn't. And this is the thing. I didn't go step by step and watch this whole thing because I knew that I couldn't. But now that I have, and now that I looked at all those pictures, the 150 pictures of these kids, that's what started to touch my heart. And then, like,
touch your heart. The cold, dead, ice cold heart in your chest. These pictures that you upload, if they touched your heart, why did you upload them like this? You could have shared them on social media or your community tab without monetizing them. And what about the audio, Molly? What about you putting the fake audio on Patreon for $50 for people to hear it? It's fake. Are you going to go to your channel? Is Betty going to go to her channel and admit that it's fake, that you should have done? Are you going to take responsibility? Are you going to admit where you messed up and what you should do differently in the future? Neither of you are going to. In fact, I don't even think these two are going to tell their audience that the audio is fake.
Then he just goes and just rubs it in a little more. And he's like, you know, I know something, Marissa. And I'm like, what, Justin? And he's like,
just wait. Just wait. This gets really good.
Like, these parents really you know, raised, he was, you know, on his way to being a real serial, you know?
Well, yeah, he is. He is one, isn't he? Do you have to do different? It's multiple people. It's not, I don't know if in order to be considered a serial, you have to do more than one incident. I don't know. But either way, the point is, you are blaming people before we have any information, and it could be completely wrong. The point is, you're making assumptions, and your assumptions are disrespectful. Your assumptions are the thing that is disrespectful to the story. The way that you monetize the story flippantly, without checking, without putting in work, without giving it time, without giving it thought, is the criticism.
And I'm like, I know. So, listen, he's already arrested.
It's a mass, Mike. It's not serial, so he's going to be considered mass, right? Yeah, there has to be a cooldown period. I just forget what it is. It's been so long since I studied it, but okay. So Mike says he's going to be considered mass. Okay.
And I get that, but that's just like, that's not enough for me. It's not enough for me because you look at these pictures of these young people, you know what I'm saying? These young, innocent, beautiful.
You know, it always bothers me. Why do you feel such passionate desire for justice when it comes to this, but you feel no justice for the fraud raisers you run, no justice for the doxings, which could literally, you sharing people's addresses and full names and raging people out towards people could lead to this kind of thing happening to somebody. But you just think because you get lucky and it doesn't happen that it's just okay. And I get it. These issues are really, really big. And some would say that her support of Letitia, putting that fraud in front of everybody, is not comparable. But the point is her desire for justice, her desire for the right thing to happen only applies when she can make money, is what I'm saying. If she could make money not caring about justice, like in those situations I named, she won't care. So that's why I'm trying to say it's fake.
Beautiful kids, and then you hear these. Let me tell you something. We haven't heard nothing yet. We don't know nothing. There's so much more evidence that we haven't even heard. And that's going to come out way later. And
yeah, it's almost like you watched my stream or something, because you're taking a lot of the points that I've made already and dishing them out.
there's going to be more stuff.
This is exactly what I warned about against you and Betty yesterday. There is so much coming in the future, and it's going to be one of these cases. It's going to be one of those kind of things that people look back on, that people study, that people wonder about, and we haven't even gotten into the beginning yet. We are in the pre-stage of this whole thing. They just brought the guy in. We don't even know if he's going to admit it. We don't know if he's going to give details. We don't know if he's going to break down and just try to make a deal and give them everything. We have no idea if he's going to clam up and deny it. There's a lot that we don't know. And that's what makes you and Betty and what you're doing, along with the others that are doing it, so bad.
The police, you know, have, and we'll learn that later. I don't know if I was ready for this one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I was ready.
You weren't ready for this one. You weren't ready for any of them. You haven't been ready for any of your stories you've covered. What are you talking about?
All right. Sorry, I'm being loud.
But he yelled at her to quiet down.
I feel so bad for them, and I'm so glad.
I don't think you do. Who do you feel bad for? Why is it that you only feel bad for the girls? You don't feel bad for anybody else? I think everybody in the world feels bad for the entire situation, not... You guys like to get angry at people and make them into villains and stuff, and that's why we get upset with you. I don't know. I don't think you really do feel bad. If you felt bad for them, you would have to feel bad for other people that you've been targeting.
That those police were working so diligently, because let me tell you something. There's a lot of people that were saying that those cops in Idaho were, you know, dumbasses. They were saying this, they were saying that, they were saying this.
This is you. This is literally you. We've seen you do this in like, what, 7 or 8 different scenarios? So I don't understand how you get to sit here and say this. It's like they're doing the exact opposite from what they did in their last protest. It's like they're doing the exact opposite. It's almost like they know how big of a pushback they had for last time, and they're trying to just do everything the exact opposite.
That the FBI were useless. No, they were tracking him down. They were monitoring him. They were on his tail. And
you know, it makes me wonder.
I have to say that I like hearing, for a change, good police work.
For a change. You haven't even explained how in the last story the police did anything wrong when it came to that story. Even though you were the people protesting. We couldn't even go and figure out the details from the protesters for why they were mad at the cops. So I don't really believe you.
You know,
I don't believe you here.
You know, that whole thing that was going on in Savannah and stuff like that.
See, you bring it up. You bring up Savannah. What did they do wrong again? Because, you know, it could have taken them a few months to pick Brian up. It could have.
You know, we thought that they gave up on that baby, and they didn't.
Oh, that you're going to admit finally that you were wrong about Savannah right after bringing up how Savannah was so bad again, the cops were so bad, but now you're admitting that the cops weren't so bad. I just almost think you are spasming. I think you're just losing it here. I think you just want that cheddar cheese. And you know you were rolling in that dough a couple months ago, and then that dough started to go downward and you started to lose your mind, and now it's like you're trying everything in your power to bring that dough back.
That was a shock. You know, sometimes, I mean, we think of Summer Wells, you know? They were freaking useless for that.
They were useless. So you've studied the actual case, and you've actually come to the determination. I'll look at it. I haven't looked deep into Summer Wells, but then again, you know, sometimes the cops are useless. There's many cases I could name that I have named on UNIRock too, where the cops were useless. I always talk about the Kurt Cobain issue, but you know, you have to look at each individual case, because cops aren't just this like magical being. They're just a person, so they're just as likely as any other person to either be good or bad at what they're doing.
For them, you know, and that breaks your heart, and you think that they're useless, and then you deal with people that have parents that don't care. And I think you know, fine. I'm watching.
Now, this is why we're watching. She's going to put herself, this is pretty crazy. This is pretty unique for Molly. She's going to put herself in the shoes of Brian's mother and pretend that her son has done the doo-doo. Okay. And this gets really weird. I'm just going to warn you right now. If you think you've seen some crazy Molly lately, wait till you hear what you're about to hear.
Watching The Walking Dead, and I am so over it, and it's kept me up. All right. I'm watching The Walking Dead.
See, she keeps getting yelled at to keep it down. Isn't that hilarious? Shut up. All right.
It's the last season. It's on Netflix. And it's been on for a decade, and I've been watching it for a decade, and I just want it to end.
You know what's nice, Molly? What I did with The Walking Dead, I stopped watching it years ago.
I just want it to end. And I know it's going to suck when it ends. That's it. And I'm not going to sleep until it ends. I've been watching it all night, and it sucks. I'm tired of you, Maggie. I'm not tired of Negan, because Negan looks good. All right. I feel so bad.
Here we go.
I keep looking at their pictures.
So she's staring at the kids' pictures, getting upset. She's getting mad. And I can kind of believe her. Like, that seems almost normal, right? But then again, I don't believe that when she takes the pictures, uploads them to her YouTube channel, monetizes them, when she takes fake audio, that by the time she even put it up, she could have found out that it was fake herself and didn't even try, and monetizes it behind a $50 Patreon paywall and tells people to go pay the Patreon money to hear the audio, right? It just makes me think that it's an act.
I have them all stored on my phone. And everyone keeps asking me, oh, what do you think of Dylan? Don't I?
Oh yeah, don't even get her started on Dylan. Now, I've heard you guys, some of you guys want me to actually cover this case, and you want me to look at the affidavit. So I've conceded. I'm just letting you know we are going to read the affidavit on stream. I want to do it tonight, but I don't know if we're going to get to or not. That's the goal. The goal is to do it tonight. I got a lot of work to do, though, editing, and I don't know when I'm going to get to the next stream. So if everything goes to plan, we'll look at the affidavit tonight, because a lot of you want me to. A lot of you reached out, and if you guys reach out, if you guys ask me to do something, typically I'll do it, right? So if you ever want me to do something in the future, hit me up, leave a comment, write into the mods, tell them in the chat. The worst thing we could say is why we won't do it, but we're going to look at this case a little bit with you. I just want you to know I don't like covering these kind of cases directly, but I'll do it if you guys want me to, because a lot of you want to just see how I'd cover it. And as a response to a lot of you, watch my Gabby Petito video on UNIRock 2. Go down and actually find, it's not hard to find. It's not even that old. And if you want to see how I cover certain topics or certain stories, just go and watch my videos on UNIRock 2. Look for the commentary videos. Then they're not going to be that long, right? I think Gabby Petito's 15 minutes or something, or 18 minutes.
Ask me about that. Now, should I just tell you what I think you want to hear? I'll tell you what I think you want to hear.
But I want to hear, I just want to hear the truth, you know? Like, I just want people to tell me directly what this person did wrong and why people should criticize this person. But at the same time, though, again, like I said yesterday, and I don't even want to get into this today, we're going to handle it in the affidavit. When we read the affidavit, we'll look at this part of the story, okay? That's all I really care about. So make sure you keep an eye out for the affidavit video from me if you want to know what I think about Dylan and the other parts of the story.
I'm glad that she's alive. And maybe she just woke up and saw him and was too scared to grab her phone. And that's maybe why she waited hours.
I don't still, again, I went and checked again. I've checked again, and I still don't have a reason that she would have called the police. She didn't think, like, I've still got that whole thing. And when we read the affidavit, we're going to look and try to find whether Dylan had a reason to call the police or not. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get there. Hope says she took a direct shot at the mother and Banfield last night. I highly recommend checking News Nation and what Banfield actually says. You know, I thought about doing that, Hope, but we did cover that yesterday. We covered her smack talking Banfield. Banfield, from what I know, actually just described the aunt, right? And I didn't play it on stream, but I did check it way earlier. So if you want me to watch the Banfield clip, though, I'll see if I can find it. Thank you for the super chat.
I will not be one of the people that's harassing her. I will not.
This is really weird for me. Is Molly learned her lesson here? You know, I have to ask myself, why aren't you gonna attack Dylan? Betty is. So you're not going to be one of the people harassing Dylan. You know, it just blew my mind hearing her say this until I realized, oh yeah, the press release. The press release said, if you try to meddle, if you go in and you try to harass or you go at people that are involved in this or affecting this, you will face criminal charges. So once I realized, oh, that's why she's being really careful about what she says about Dylan, then it all came to me.
Will not be one of the people that's guilting her or trolling her.
Oh yes, Hope. Yeah, definitely. Oh, she might have went at Banfield again. The one I saw is in my stream from yesterday. Okay.
I'm sure she.
Pig's Lip says, why would anyone harass her? These people are nuts. You know, again, I still would. That's the only reason that I'm going to look at the affidavit and look into the story a little further with you guys. I really do want to know what this Dylan person did to get so many people mad at them. Yeah, people act like Dylan didn't call the police, and when Dylan should have, and it caused damage, right? And I can understand people maybe being mad if that's the case. Kind of like, yeah, I can understand that. But I get so many people telling me that that's not what the affidavit says that happened to Dylan. So we're going to find out ourselves so that we can make up our own minds. We're going to actually look at everything that's written there. But I'm still going to keep my mind open for things to evolve when they go to trial, just so you know.
Feels, I don't know what to say about that. So I'm just going to keep my big fat mouth shut. But
that's a first. That's a first. When I originally watched this, I said to myself, you know, I'm going to have to give her props. I'm going to have to give her credit for deciding to keep her mouth shut. And then after I realized, though, that the only reason she's doing this is because she's trying to save her own skin, I changed my mind. So I'm not going to give her props.
Justin said that he believes that I got triggered by seeing.
Mary says that girl's in a shock. Nobody should be saying crap about her. Yeah, she should keep her big mouth shut. You know, I just need to read the details. I just want to get all the details about what happened to Dylan. So that's why we're hitting that affidavit. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens when we read it.
Brian's mother, all dressed up in black, like Roberta, and thinks that that's what made me lose my shizzle.
So she saw Brian's mother all dressed in black like Roberta, and it caused her to lose her shizzle. Shizzle. The thing is, though, that's just the appropriate thing to wear, especially for Catholics, I think. Or there's different religions wear certain things in certain, you know, when certain things happen. It's just normal for people to dress in black in this scenario. So, I don't know.
No, I think I find a lot of similarities between her and Brian Laundrie's mother.
Yeah, and we don't know why. I went out and looked for information, the public information, nothing else, on Brian's mother and sister, because I will not violate their privacy. I won't play that little internet sleuth cringy game that all these people wear as a badge. And I could not hardly find any information about the sister, about the mother. I found very rare mentions of them, very limited information on them, and I do need to look a little more to do a complete search again. But I still think that people are operating off of a massive amount of misinformation right now. I think they think when they hear somebody transfer information, they believe they're getting the truth. And I think that when they read things from the police or they read things from an initial or an early part of some kind of story, they think they're getting the facts because they're just not remembering that we're early in the story, very, very early. So, I don't know how she's drawn any conclusive opinion about a sister or a mother. I just can't figure that out.
And then some idiot came on the...
Here we go. Here we go. This should be it. We're finally getting there. Man, it takes her forever, dude.
Channel comments and said, oh, is this... I hope this is not going to lead to another protest outside their house.
So this is another really big thing, big segment that I want you to focus on. So people everywhere are feeling this way. Everyone out there thinks that you and Betty and other tragedy pimps... I'm trying to confuse the YouTube algorithm. I think that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like the word pimp. So the other tragedy pimps, we're expecting all of you guys to make excuses to upload content and clickbait, lie, upload fake audio like you've been doing, but also to go protest. When that money ain't coming in, you guys know exactly what your options are to get that money to roll upwards. And we're waiting. So I don't know how you're offended that somebody leaves a comment that says this. In fact, I would think you would be expecting it.
How dumb are you?
Dumb.
Why would...
How dumb are you to think that we would go protest? Really? Really? How dumb are you to look at our past behavior for years and then think we're going to do that now? Really?
Why would that...
Because you guys do it all the time. Why do you even have to ask why? This isn't working, Molly.
Why would that lead to a protest? Like, what are you thinking?
So she's going to pull one of the most obviously narcissistic, I want to say gaslighting tactics, but I might be off point. It might just be a lie. Might be a pathological kind of lie. She's definitely going to go for that narcissistic tactic where, you know, she's going to really act out how crazy it is to believe that they would go protest these kind of stories. Yeah, Jesus.
What is there? Do you think that we protest?
The tactic she's going to use is to convince you that the only reason that they protested before was because there wasn't an arrest and they needed to motivate the police to go do an arrest. Their protesting is to get justice. They get justice by yelling and screaming like the Karens they are, the crybabies they are, into bullhorns because they can't yell loud enough. They need it amplified. They need their assisted Karening device is what they yell into. And they think that the Karening is what is going to get the arrests to happen. And it really does say a lot about how much BullHorn Betty and Molly knows about the process of these types of crimes, this type of story. It shows they have no knowledge. They're not in any way educated in this. So that's what she's doing. She's giving you the excuse that they protest.
Because we think it's fun?
Yes. You think it's fun to get the super chats, to do the live streams. You think it's fun to yell at people. Yes.
Do you think that we protest because we think that it's cool?
Yes. You guys, it's always me. It's always look at how awesome I am. Look at all, like you've even referenced past protests as the great things that you've done. So absolutely you believe it's cool.
They arrested him.
So what if they've arrested him? You protested the mother. You didn't protest the perp in the last story. I could go into all your other protests. So don't even act like you were protesting because you wanted to motivate an arrest. That's not how you motivate an arrest. I'm sorry. What you did. No, protesting can be very useful. Protesting is a right. I'm not even addressing protesting. Your version of it didn't do anything. not anything positive.
We don't have a reason to protest.
You never had a reason in the past. You just invented any reason. The reason you protested is because you weren't getting enough views or money. The protest was a way to whip people into supporting you. That's just all it was.
He's in jail. What is there to protest for? So I would really like it and appreciate.
So it's just nuts to hear her act like, you know, to make excuses for their past protests, for her to act like they wouldn't protest in this situation, all of that. It's just it's just pathetic. It's just a weak attempt.
Appreciate what most of you do think before you leave comments. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, this person's not thinking, even though anyone who actually thinks would come to the conclusion, you guys would protest this on the drop of a dime.
But yeah, some people need to
If it wasn't for that press post that says you'll get arrested.
understand what protesting is about.
See how they can't tell the truth? Molly can't tell the truth. She can't tell you Idaho will arrest us if we protest. Idaho won't allow us like those other states and localities. Idaho's not going to tolerate us. They've already said they'll arrest us if we try it. So no duh, we're not going to protest. We don't want to go get arrested because then we'll just have to sit in jail and we won't get to make money by live streaming. Instead, she makes the weakest, dumbest excuse.
Well, you have to have a purpose and a good reason to protest before you go out there and waste your time.
So now she is literally giving Navy's initial criticism. One of the first things Navy said when we were looking at them protest Gabby Petito and the last protest. And now she's giving our criticism. But she's giving it herself. She's saying you have to have a reason to protest. You have to be very clear with your protest. You have to actually want change. You got to be specific. You never did that in any of your protests, though. You couldn't even do it. I showed a literal news interview with BullHorn Betty yesterday on UNIRock2, and we showed a little bit of it here. Me and Navy broke it down on UNIRock2, where Betty is being interviewed about the Quentin Simon case where you guys protested and couldn't give a single, not a single reason why you protested.
Before you protest, you should really have a good reason. I think that when we went outside of Roberta Laundrie's house and protested, that was probably one of the greatest things that could ever have happened.
I thought you just said it wasn't cool to protest. You guys didn't do it because it's cool. But obviously you think you're cool for doing this. What you did at the laundries was not great. What you did was violate rights of people and try to get attention on yourselves by a spectacle. Now, there are people that did, criticize Roberta Laundrie appropriately. Many people, myself included on my stream. But you and what you did at the laundries was not appropriate. You guys were seen as a laughingstock when you did that. You were put on the news. Nobody agreed with it. Nobody cheered you on other than a few of your audience members. It was a very bad thing for you. And it's crazy how you turned it into this great event. But are you finally going to get to the point?
And I thank everyone that was outside of Roberta Laundrie's house besides myself. And it worked. And no one.
It didn't work. You did nothing. You literally played the voice of her son, her dead son, to torture them. And you put laundry baskets in their yard. You did nothing productive. You did nothing meaningful. You did everything for yourself. It had nothing to do with the story or Gabby.
No one can say that it didn't.
I am. I'm saying it right now. I said it when you did it. I said it after you did it. I say it every time I bring it up or you bring it up. I'm saying it. I think a lot of people will say it. I think the majority of every person out there is going to say it. And I think that you're lying.
It sure did. And it wasn't just me. It was many, many people. I'm trying to get this iced tea open and I can't get it open. Oh, now I can. Because I started thinking about Roberta and her neck.
It shouldn't make you this mad. You shouldn't have that kind of reaction. You're controlled by hate and anger. These are things that are wrong. These are things that are bad. These are not good things. god, dude. You hear that? If I was not live, I would amplify the noises of her drinking. She can't. She's literally like glunk, 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 glunk.
So yeah. Listen,
Where is it? Where is you talking about your son? Don't tell me it's in a different video.
I'm not here to maneuver my challenge in a direction of I'm getting at. I'm just having sort of like weird freak out over this mom. And she kind of, yeah, other stuff, but I don't know.
Very true, Jessica. They don't protest. They harass and become a nuisance. Exactly. Because if they were protesting, then they wouldn't have laws created to keep them away, because you can't stop people from protesting.
It made a video and it said what I would.
Oh, are you finally going to get to the point? Oh my God. I wish that I had known it was at the end, but there were several things you needed to hear. But here's the main thing. Here you go.
I made a video and it said what I would do if I was Brian's mother. All the Roberta, Marianne, they all name their crazy lunatic sons Brian.
Again, you're not realizing this. Again, you're not realizing how many people are named Brian. You're not realizing how many people in your audience have a son or a grandson or a nephew named Brian. The reason why Brian happens to be the name of some of these people is because it's an extremely common name. So now you're saying that all the people in your audience who named their son Brian are somehow weirdos. Nice job.
I don't know. Anyone that's dating a Brian better look over your shoulder.
Yeah, if you are married to someone named Brian, he's gonna do this to you. Nice observation, Molly.
Got a husband named Brian? Oh, Brian, that's the new cuckoo name of the 21st century. There you go. Bye.
Definitely, Blaze, definitely. Okay, it was not in this damn video. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, come on, where is it? I just had it. I just had it, bro. What happened? So I'm listening for a rant from Molly. Maybe it's in a live stream. And I bet you it's right here. I bet you it's right here. Yeah, here it is. It's a live stream. If I were Brian's mother, and essentially she tries to imagine that her son Jake did what Brian did, and what she would do and what she would say if that occurred. And as always, while you're watching my show, you can support me absolutely free by watching, hitting the like button or subscribing, going to UNIRocktv, watching my uploads and subscribing there, because I am actively uploading again. Wow, I know, it's crazy. Also, if you want to support me above and beyond that, which is completely optional and just goes to supporting my show, me continuing the show, it's paypal.me/UNIRock. On Cash App, money sign UNIRACHEL. These are in the chat right now. Here they are in the chat right now. And patreon.com/UNIRock. Patreon will let you use pretty much any other method other than Cash App or PayPal. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to process this, because when I was listening to this earlier, because you guys know I've been putting a lot more preparation time into the live streams and keeping them more focused for you. So I did listen to this earlier. I had to, really focus. It gets real crazy. I'm just going to tell you.
It's not about her.
It gets real crazy. So, I mean, it's going to take me a second. I'm really going to have to, you're gonna understand what I'm saying in a minute.
No, my mind is not gonna change in 14 days. It's not gonna change in a month. I feel the way that I feel. Fuck her. It's not about her. Screw her.
So again, now we have another instance of Molly getting angry at a family member instead of getting angry at the person that did this. And this is because Molly and Betty and the others out there don't understand blame, morality, ethics, intelligence, thought. They don't understand who's to blame when something happens. And because they have a fundamental misunderstanding of who is at fault, is Brian the one at fault because he went and did this, or are 50 other people at fault? Because she can't, you know, break down in her mind. Betty can't break it down in her mind. They end up blaming all these other people and then taking all their insanity out on them, like you constantly see. That's on top of the main point. Now we've got 200 people here almost. So earlier I showed you the proof that the audio from yesterday that Betty put up and monetized is completely fake and is actually a post from December 30th, not from this instant, not from this happening. It didn't happen in Idaho. It didn't happen anywhere close to Idaho. And it's actually a DV recording that Betty put on her channel. And this is why Betty paused it every second. You notice how when Betty played the audio, I didn't do this live, but I did after the show. I looked every second she paused it because she didn't want it to be very recognizable. If you ever heard the original recording, she went in and put it an hour and 40 minutes into her live stream because she knew it was fake. And she is spitting on the victims by doing this. She's also spitting on that original DV situation that she exploited by uploading and monetizing on her channel. But Molly took that audio, put it on her Patreon behind a $50 paywall, and made people pay $50 to hear it. So what did she do? From what I can tell, she went and played the scream at the very end and said that it was one of the victims. It wasn't. Newsflash, she lied to get your Patreon money. She ripped them off again. She plays the scream. They sit there and go, oh my God, that's so sad. That's so heart-wrenching. Hey, if you want to hear it, you can go join my Patreon to hear it. Then she goes, oh my God, so many people are joining my Patreon. It was all fake. If you want to see how it was fake, it's the first thing I did in this stream was debunk it. Thanks to all of the people I shouted out earlier, of course.
Her. She has no right.
And we're waiting to see Betty rush to her channel, go live, and apologize for the disrespect she's showing to these victims and to the original DV situation. We're waiting on Betty to admit that she was wrong and take responsibility for what she did in front of her audience and delete the video. We're waiting on Molly to go run into her channel and go live and tell everybody that she was wrong. She shouldn't have put this, for one, even if it was a real call, Betty and Molly shouldn't have did what they did. But then to find out that it's fake and it was easily debunkable shows that they did this on purpose. They disrespected the passing of these people to try to make a few bucks on purpose.
She's acting exactly like Roberta, and she's hitting that spot with me that's very uncomfortable. She's hitting that G spot that I don't like.
Ew.
The reason it's triggering me because of Roberta.
Ew. It's crazy to me that you somehow link you getting mad at Brian's mother to sexual things. I'm not even going to make fun of you. I'm trying not to laugh at you for this. It's just, you're demented. You are demented.
Exactly what it is.
The black hit me. It made me think of Roberta. And I was the only one that stuck up to, I was the only.
What now? What'd you just say?
One that gave it to Roberta. And no one wanted to listen back then. And now this one wants to.
No. What are you talking about? Everybody wasn't happy with the Laundrie family back then. But we weren't evil like you. We're not going to go out and take this family that also is a victim of Brian Laundrie and probably should have gotten a hold of the Petitos and told them what they knew, assuming that they did know. And they ended up paying for it in the end, millions of dollars. But that does not mean that we should rush down to their homes and act like idiots to try to get us attention. We shouldn't do that. You can do what I did and criticize the Laundries on my YouTube channel, which I did a lot. You can rewind and watch those videos from back when we covered Gabby. When we covered Gabby, we started covering it as a missing person. We didn't even realize, we didn't know that it was going to turn into what it turned into. But obviously it did. The point, though, is you guys are just sick.
You know
about Roberta with the shovel, right?
I know about Roberta with the shovel, yeah. I know. No one want to listen back then. Makes them want to listen. No. All right. I'm about to.
Nobody wanted to listen back then, huh? Nobody? Nobody. It wasn't like it was this really big story or anything. Nobody wanted to listen. Everybody ignored the revelations. What did you say back then? Oh, that's right. You went and took a laundry basket, threw it in their front yard. Then you pulled up with their car and you turned your audio up to play their past son's voice on blast to the sister, mother, and father because you were trying to punish and torture them. So I don't know what you mean. Everybody listened to you. Everybody considered you disgusting and shook their heads at you. What are you talking about?
Go off. All right.
Okay,
so
whatever.
This is called If I Were Brian Koberger's Mother. Now, a lot of people will say,
this is good too. I have to admit, at some point, I think she's trying to entertain us. I think she's putting on an act. She's so mad at us that she's just doing this to feed us content. Because I can't figure out any other reason she would say what she's about to say, other than to give me a bunch of good content to bring to you.
oh, well, what if this was your son, Jake? Excuse me? What do you
What if this was your son? What if you were the mother of someone who did this?
mean if this was my son, Jake? Well, I'll be quite honest with you.
We mean, what if Jake did it and you were the mother? What do you mean? What do we mean? It's pretty damn, it's in the question. It's in the question.
If this were my son, Jake, and I found out that my son, Jake, was responsible for
Idaho?
going to school and majoring in a topic and knowing that one night I was going to find out he was going to come home and I was going,
Again, you're acting like you're just, you have to match it all completely. I just want to know what would happen if you were in the situation. It doesn't have to be that specific, but go
oh,
ahead.
hey, son, what are you doing home? Shouldn't you be at school studying your freaky little,
Freaky. So now forensic scientists are freaky. Doctors are freaky. People who go to be detectives, police officers, people that go into crime are freaky. Huh.
PhD in criminology? Oh, what are you doing home?
Freaky PhD in criminology. Did you ever think that there would be a person that would take something that happened like this and demonize the professionals that keep us safe and try to... I mean, this is a really hot take. This is multiple layers of a hot take. So now we have to, if we agree with her, if we're a member of her audience, we've got to look at everybody who is taking these very advanced sciences and consider them freaky.
Home. Well,
It's weird. She doesn't consider Betty freaky because she specializes in choking people out, punching them in their teeth, and all the things that you've learned about Betty. She doesn't consider that freaky. She considers the scientists that study this freaky.
oh crap. Wait, what are you talking about? My son's under arrest for what? Oh, for going into a home. Oh, 3 little white girls.
Julie, it's so true.
He did what? And a good
She's about to act this whole thing out, y'all. I'm not even kidding. This is pretty entertaining. She's about to act this whole thing out.
looking white girl.
And if you appreciate me suffering through this stuff to bring you these clips, I'm going to throw into the chat how you can support me.
You did what? You did what? You mean you're evil? Wait, you planned this? Oh.
God forbid that her husband or son or someone in her family ever does anything even close. God forbid. Lord, the karma this woman creates for herself is universe-sized. Universe-sized.
Oh, and while they were looking for you for a whole month, and they found your DNA, oh, wow. You came home and kind of like involved us?
Oh, no. Wait. You think that your son leaves your home and goes many states away, does some stuff, comes home, and hangs out at your house? How is he involving you? How is he doing it? How are you responsible? Why can't you explain? How? Is it because he told you what he did? I mean, that would be the only way that he involved you, is he told you what he did, or he had some of the I don't know, the blood, and he brought some of the blood on one of his piece of clothing into your house, or I don't know, but it doesn't make sense, Molly. What do you mean?
Oh, so you came home, oh, you went to the vigil, and oh, you were looking to join the Moscow police and then be a part of the investigation by doing an internship. Oh, but you couldn't do that, so you came home and involved us. Oh, right, okay, well, now that I think about it, honey, are you getting a vivid picture of who our kid is?
I'm kind of understanding why she never made it as an actress. You know? Could you imagine seeing this as part of a movie? That's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine you're watching the newest Tom Cruise film, or you're watching the newest show on cable television, and this is a segment from that show or movie, okay?
Oh, okay, all right. Well, what are we gonna do here? Because our son, unbeknownst to us, is a stage level freak.
Yeah. Most people can't go around admitting these things, or else they get people reporting them to the police. They hide it from people. They don't tell people that they're going to do this stuff.
What would I do? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I would pick up the phone. And I'd say, you want to know something? I'm going to do my hair. I'm going to put on a little fucking makeup.
So you just found out that your son did this, and you decide to go put on the makeup. Okay. I love it. I love it so much. This is hilarious.
I'm going to do my hair and I'm going to say, CNN?
She'd be a great writer. She would be a good writer for a sitcom or something.
Fox News? BBC? All you bitches. Come to my house. Be here in an hour. Pronto.
Okay, so there's your first thing here. After she works into the act, she is basically saying that that's her problem with Brian's mother and family. She expects them very, very soon after learning what happened to get angry instead of sad and to mourn. She wants to force them to mourn and to be upset a different way. She also wants to force them to do interviews with the mainstream media. So that's her first issue. Hope says, according to credible news sources, his internship was supposed to be in Washington, not Moscow.
Oh, FBI.
I don't think Molly cares.
Whoever wants to be here, come here. And I'm going to give a really bold statement.
Why? That's fine, I guess, if you want to do that. If you want to give a statement, if this was you. But other people are allowed to handle this situation how they want to handle it. You know nothing about this person. You don't know if they deal with depression and anxiety. You have no clue if she is even in the mental state with her illness. Maybe she has cancer, maybe she doesn't. But the point is, there are so many things that could prevent her from being able to give a statement. She could be suffering from dementia and we just don't know it. That's the point I'm making. You make so many assumptions and allow yourself to judge others in such a vitriolic way and hate them. You literally hate them. And you end up being wrong almost every time for doing it.
My son's definitely not going to like this statement. And you want to know something? My husband, fungu. You know what? You're not going to like it either. All right?
Now listen to this insanity. This is where it gets really weird. And I don't know how to handle or react to this. And I've been thinking about it for an hour. So please, just listen to this.
And I'm going to look into the camera and I'm going to say, you know what? Yes. Yeah. That kid, I gave birth to him. Yeah, that kid who pulled that stunt over in Idaho 4, I just want to let you know, I'm the mother of that kid.
Who cares? Do you really think Fox News and all of them would even include this part in the interview? I'm the mother. I gave birth. Yeah, that's what being a mother means.
That they found the DNA? Yeah, it's true. He majored in criminology.
We don't need Brian's mother to say that. We already know that. We don't need her to say it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and it's totally, I'm starting to put the pieces together. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do anything because I can't believe that this is actually.
If you admit that this woman wouldn't be able to sleep or eat, then how are you saying she should be giving interviews at this time? shouldn't she wait until she can sleep and eat so that she can think and actually say something?
Actually, my kid, this kid came out of my body. He came out of my body. I carried him for 9 months. Then I laid in a bed and I let this bastard right here, get over here, get over here, get over here and look at that camera and tell him you are sorry for laying in a bed with me.
Tell the camera that you're sorry for laying in a bed with me.
Are you sorry or are you not sorry? Because if
Are you sorry that you laid in a bed with me? Or are you not sorry, Jake?
you're not sorry and you are not sincerely sorry, then get the hell out of this shot.
If you're not sincerely sorry about laying in a bed with me, Jake, get out of the shot. Ugh, and pushes him. Starting to remind me of Betty right here. Pushing somebody violently like this, you're reminding me of Betty.
No, I am sorry that I laid in a bed with this disgusting bastard and we had a child, a specimen.
Now, hold on. You were actually saying this to the son, but now it's your husband. Okay, she just shifted it to the husband out of the blue. And now she's like, she's not mad at the son. Like, her first thought is to get mad at the husband because somehow it's his fault that they had the baby that led to this or something. I don't know. It's hard to comprehend.
Like him, the one.
I don't know, Kendra. I thought the same thing. She got so upset. She started talking about Jake, but then brought in Walter and forgot to let us know when she shifted from Jake to Walter. So I guess she could have been talking to Walter when she was talking about laying in the bed, but she said come here to Jake and then said that to him. So who knows? I don't get it.
The one that did this horrible crime. And I am so sorry to the parents of all these children.
Why are you sorry? Why are you? Okay, I'm sure she's sorry. I don't mean it like that. I mean, why are you acting like she should be apologizing as if she did it? That's what you're doing. You're acting like she should be pretending she did this because this adult male who moved out of their home many years ago and has been living his adult life for many years decided to do this. I still am having a hard time processing this.
All these kids, right? Zana, right? Ethan, Kaylee, I am sorry to all of these victims. I'm sorry to their parents.
It's almost like you're trying to make yourself the center of attention. It's like you're trying to get the attention from what your son did. Acting like the news wants, every news station wants to rush to you.
Their siblings, their cousins, their aunts, their uncles. I am sorry to the students. I am sorry to the faculty. I'm sorry to the university. I am sorry to the community. I am sorry.
Do you, for some reason, do you think that the aunts and uncles and mother and fathers that were affected by Brian are watching the news like hawks to try to see if Brian's mother gives a statement right now? They're not even going to see it, most likely, you know?
Sorry to the people that had to clean up and see this happen. What my son created, that disgusting son that I raised, that I once loved so much.
Okay, so she's doesn't love her son anymore because he did this.
Who was once the apple of my eye. Did I know that this kid was absolutely capable of this? Initially, absolutely no. No, I was completely shocked. No.
So, hey, Molly, you know, I don't even want to ask her because I don't even know. I'm just going to shut up.
Initially,
I'm never speechless. I'm pretty speechless.
No, but now that you're showing me that that my son's DNA was there, and now I'm looking at this, I'm saying, holy crap, my son went into this household. And
yeah, so now you're admitting the opposite of what you said yesterday about Brian's mother and sister. You and Justin yesterday said that the mother and sister knew that Brian was going to do this and that they should have stopped him, and they knew he was going to do this. And now you're saying that the mother would have just found out at this moment and would have had no future knowledge. It's weird.
And went from one girl to another and to another and to another, and then
exactly, our top. She's definitely trying to make herself the center of the story. Yeah.
And I could hear this kid screaming for his life. And then he went on a run. And then he thought that he could outsmart the police, law enforcement, the FBI. And then he thought he would run home to mom. And here I am doing his laundry. And
when she was doing his laundry and all of that, nobody knew that he did this. his mother didn't know that he did this.
Cooking for him and hugging him like any old day. Well, I'll tell you something. I raised him with the best of intentions. I fed him, I cooked him, I read him books, I put him.
Exactly. But we don't know if his mother didn't. What's really weird about this is from an initial look, it really does seem like he did have a good upbringing. Now, there could be details that come out in the future that could contradict that. But right now, it doesn't seem like that he didn't. So it's like...
him in sports. I thought he was a normal kid, but I'll tell you what. I walked in on him jerking off. I
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where, again, you talked about the G-spot earlier, and now you're talking about walking in on your son. You know.
I thought he did something one time with the cat.
He did what? Jake did what? Jake did something with the cat? He was jerking his... You walked in on him doing that, but then he was doing something to the cat. He was doing... What are you talking about?
With the best of intentions. I fed him, I cooked him, I read him books, I put him in sports. I thought he was a normal kid, but I'll tell you what. I walked in on him jerking off. I thought he did something one time with the cat. He did something with the dog one time. I thought that
the dog? The cat? And I never heard the dog earlier. I was so shocked by the cat. I didn't even hear anything. So not just the cat, but the dog.
he was a little, I don't know. I did think he was. I looked at him. You know, I know he's not that good looking. I know that he's got a weird, ugly nose. I know he can't get chicks. He's not a good looking kid. I get it. And I look at these innocent children, and then I think, oh my goodness, he's killing these kids. Why? Because they're all good looking, and he's ugly. I get it. He's my kid. I can say it now. He's an ugly kid. He's an ugly kid. But you want to know something? He's ugly, and he's a monster on top of it. I can say it because he is my kid. He's an ugly monster, right? He's a disgusting, ugly monster. No one wanted to sleep with him, so he got a little jealous, and he got.
Is that what happened with the cat and dog?
A little vindictive, so he went crazy. So I'll tell you what. I only loved him because he was my son. But now that I know that he's an evil bastard, I have to take responsibility and say that evil bastard came from my body. Because
I don't think anyone has to do that. I don't think that an adult... Now, even if you made this argument about a 16-year-old who had done this... I don't think you'd have to do that. I just don't think you'd have to go, oh my God, my body is somehow to blame. At some point, a child grows to an adult and they can make their own decisions. That means they're not, that means what they do is on them.
Disgusting bastard knocked me up 28 years ago.
So now her husband has become a disgusting bastard because he impregnated her.
Is there something you wanted to say? No? Okay, then shut up.
I'm still stuck on the whole cat and dog thing, Molly. I'm still stuck there. I don't think I'll ever be unstuck from it.
Because until he gets his shit together, I can only speak for myself. And yes, of course I love my children. Not anymore. Not that one. I got 2 other daughters, and I hope they're not freaks like him. Yeah, I did. I hope you 2 aren't freaks like him. You, I'm questioning. You? Yeah, you're on thin ice over there too. You? Oh, don't even touch me. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. My son was born mental.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to be mad because she walked in on the kid jerking off or something. But the cat and dog thing is taking it a step too far, Molly.
My son was obviously obsessed with.
Taking it a step too far, Molly.
Psychopaths. He was obviously born with a screw or 2 loose in his head.
Okay, there you go again. You're literally speaking to what you call the true crime community. So people that literally watch forensic files, cold case files, movies and documentaries and the Bundy thing and all this. People that follow this stuff. And you're saying that people who are very, very interested in this kind of thing have a screw loose in their head. But you're saying it to the, quote, true crime community. I don't think you understand how much of your audience you insult every time you rant.
And it was nothing I could control because if I could, I would have.
It's nothing? Did you just say it? Uh-oh, you just said it? So when it's Jake, when Jake gets done with the cat and the dog and then does the murmurs, it's nothing you can control because you would have not known that he did it. So why have you been sitting here hating on the sister and the mother, barring some form of information that shows they were involved?
Do I love him? I used to. Not anymore. He's favorite. That kid was FBI. If you can like keep him and keep no. Just keep him.
Yeah, he's gonna go to jail, prison forever if he did this. So you don't have to worry about that.
Keep him away from me, please. Thank you.
What the fork? I wish I could tell you what we're watching. It's a very unique mental breakdown from Molly that happened today, 14 hours ago, where she pretends that Jake became a murderer of 4 people and then talks about him doing things to the cat and dog and then does this very intense acting job. I think I've just adequately have I just explained it, because I don't even know what the hell I just saw, so it's hard for me to tell you.
Keep him away from society. Yes, that sentence. Yeah, I think that's the way. And you want to know something?
See, that's the thing, Molly. I don't think anybody. How do you say that? How do you even say that? Like, I know one thing. It's my job in this world. There's one thing that's my job above everything else, other than just taking care of my family and being there and all that. There's one thing, an overarching thing I live by. I'm going to be dead before my kids, okay? Like, that's like the thought process. That's how like I comprehend the world. Like, I don't want to comprehend any scenario where that doesn't happen. Like, I want to be gone before any of them are, right? Just saying. That's just the thing.
Those poor children had to die to save others. God forgive me for saying it. That I raised an absolute psychopath.
You just said that you had no way of knowing and you aren't to blame. 3 minutes later, I raised an absolute psychopath.
Born, because they say psychopaths are born that way. Why am I talking that way?
Okay, well, if a psychopath is born that way, and being a psychopath is a mental disorder, that therefore, Molly, wouldn't that mean that the mother is barring other information? If she did give him a normal upbringing, shouldn't be tortured like this?
Because I think that that's probably the way that she talks. I don't know. I've never heard her talk, but I have to think that that's probably her voice.
You know, I think she's probably in a complete and utter state of misery. Like, if I just have to assume what I think Brian's mother is going through right now, again, I won't make a bunch of assumptions about her until I have more information. So I'm just imagining a normal person finds this out. I think she's in complete and utter misery. That's just now, you know, that's just where I'm at.
I mapped out this woman's address. She's precisely 2 hours, 0 minutes away from me.
Here we go. Hold on a minute. Can you just give me a moment, please, Molly? You mapped out her address. Can I please take a break from this video reaction, please? You mapped out her address. You mapped out her address. You stalked her. Why do you admit these things live? She's not a public figure. She hasn't been on the news. She hasn't been interviewed. She's not a celebrity. You've taken a normal, like, civilian that's out there and stalked them to their front door, and you admit it freely. And to you, you haven't said anything wrong. To you, it's perfectly normal. This is psycho behavior. This is extreme behavior. It's not normal. You are a creeper. You are a window peeping creeper. Why do you stalk people like this? You're obsessed. You're obsessive. It's not normal.
So yeah, if you're wondering, and if you want to leave a comment under my video and say, Marissa, why are you so hard on that mother?
No, what we want to know is why you're cyber stalking her.
What would you do if it was your own son? I just told you.
But that still makes no sense. You would not want many random people that are angry with you on the internet stalking you. just because your son, the way that morality works and that you have to think about it, Molly, is that people are responsible for what they choose to do, and they're not responsible for what they do not choose to do. That's the thing that differentiates you accidentally running somebody over and spending 20 years in prison, or you accidentally running someone over and not going to prison. Because in the first instance, you could have been on drugs or drunk, and you could get, you know, homicide charges or whatever. You get me? Or how about like you pulling the trigger and shooting someone, going to prison for 40 years, pulling the trigger and shooting someone, not going to prison at all. Because what if it's an intruder and they're running at you with a knife and you shoot them to save yourself? You're not going to go to prison. But there's some dude standing in your front yard and you shoot him, you're going to prison. This is the thing. You act as if you're some kind of person that can make these kind of like judgments and thought processes, but you are wrong every time you open your mouth. You just don't get it. But then when you go and stalk people and when you go too far, that's why I think everybody has an issue. Oh my goodness. I feel like we just went through something together, y'all. I feel like we just experienced something together here. You know what I'm saying?
A mother always loves their child. Well, Justin told me you always love your child for the child that they were.
That doesn't add up with how you're acting.
I think at that point, when you realize that child is a monster, and I think that that guy had the intent to...
The child was... Hold on. You just said that that child was a monster. So basically, how do you know when this person became a monster? So was he doing this to people when he was 10 or something? Is that what you're trying to infer here? Because if he didn't do it until he was, you know, current year, I don't necessarily know what you mean there, but okay, go ahead. I'm done trying to figure you out anyway. Just go. Just go.
Keep on going. Now just remember, after whatever he did.
I feel like I've just taken like a 4-hour road trip and I'm almost to the destination.
Well, we know what he did at that house. He still showed up at that candlelight vigil. And he still wanted to do an...
Yeah, because he's a psycho. He's a freak. He's a monster. Yes. It's not extreme to say any of this after what he did. Sure.
With the Moscow Police Department. If that doesn't shake you to the core.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is life. This is reality. This is the world. Evil is real. Evil is real. This isn't the first story like this. It's not going to be the last story like this. It sucks.
It really should. I don't like this case at all. That's why I didn't report and follow it and blah, blah, blah. All my friends did. I shared pictures of them. Justin gave me like 100 or so photos of them.
You know what? This is a good transfer point. Dear God, take a breath. Woo. Woo. I'm going to need Lamaze. I need a Lamaze class right now in order to come down off of that journey we just took together. Wow. Okay. Woo, baby. I don't know what to say, so let's move on to the next part of my video. Now, there's still a lot left to hear in this video, but unfortunately, I've got to try to bring you the stuff that matters. I got to bring you the good stuff or something, and I'm gonna be missing a lot of really good reactions material, but we need to move on to something. We got to get everything done, okay? We got to move on. So let's go ahead and look at some of the other stuff we have, because guess what? We got a lot more for you. And yeah, it's about to get, I don't know if it'll get as crazy, but it gets pretty crazy. It might just get as crazy. Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's see what's up. All right. Wow. Okay. So, where are we going next? Woo! I want you to hear a couple recent submissions. These are things I haven't got a chance to hear before the stream. Like Donna sending in Molly stating that she can spot a victim a mile away.
So, the point of my video is, I've been kind of doing this for a long time. And one thing I can say, which I've said over and over again, advocating for victims, is I can spot a victim a mile away.
I can spot a victim a mile away. Yeah, I do believe that. I believe that you can spot a victim a mile away. Someone who you can approach, convince to give you lots of money, and then you can run away from. Also, this is what I recorded when Molly returned to Brian Laundrie's home when they went to Florida during Christmas.
All right, this is where it all started, right here. This is Roberta Laundrie's house. This is where Molly Golightly came over a year ago. I stood here.
Oh, I remember this. We reacted to some of
with
this.
A basket and started screaming, Roberta, Roberta.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that, definitely. Now, for those of you that weren't here at the beginning of my stream, I do want to show you something, and I want to update you on the audio from yesterday. Remember the audio that Betty monetized, made money off of, and played almost 2 hours into her video and made sure to pause every second so that it was kind of hard for you to hear the whole thing, almost like she knew it was fake and wanted to put a lot of breaks in it so that you'd have a hard time identifying the real audio if you ever heard it? Yeah, that audio. Turns out Molly uploaded it to Patreon and put it behind a $50 paywall from what I'm being told. And she definitely put it on Patreon behind a paywall. I've been told it was $50. And after Molly put it up, Betty, of course, spitting on these victims by putting this stuff up, it's come to everyone's attention that this is actually a DV call, a DV recording from December 30th. Has nothing to do with Idaho, the state, or any city in the state, or any state near Idaho. It has nothing to do with Idaho. Will we see them? Oh, definitely, Welsh. Definitely. Will we see Molly and Betty return the money they made off of the victims' pain and suffering, the lie that they put out? Will they go to their channels, go live, and admit to everybody that they should have done some research and they shouldn't have rushed it out and monetized it like they did? Will they even tell their audiences at all that what they played, both of them claiming that it was the victims, was completely fake? Just so to make sure you've got the evidence, you can go to Couch Clips because they have compiled it. They have shown the original post on December 30th of 2022. They play the audio. I'm not going to because I don't want to play the DV call. I don't want to play the fake audio. They play the audio and prove to you that the original post was on December 30th of 2022, and it was easy to find if you aren't incompetent like Betty and Molly. Then they show this. The supposed leaked audio from the neighbor's outdoor cam is not related to the crime at Moscow. This is the original owner of the audio. This is on her Facebook page on December 30th. She reached out and wanted people to know that her recording is not related to Moscow. She does not reside anywhere near Moscow, and this audio was not taken the night of it. And it is a confirmed domestic V situation from her neighbors. And she shared the clip. Details, but if you want to see me fully break it down, it's at the beginning of the stream. I just wanted to update you. And I think YouTube at this point should be punishing the creators that monetized this audio, in the very least taking away their partnership so they can't keep monetizing things on this platform. But I do think they should be banned because they, in my opinion, who do I think faked this? Betty. I think Betty. This is the reason Betty put it 1 hour and 45 minutes into the video. This is the reason that Betty paused it every 0.3 seconds to try and make it hard for you to recognize. Yeah, I think Betty knew it was fake. I think you can literally go watch Betty's video right now. Fast forward to where she talks about and plays the audio. You notice how it doesn't affect her at all? She's not upset by it. She doesn't change the tone in her voice. She's not saddened by it because she knows it's fake. She knows it's not real. Molly, I feel, also knew this. Molly played the scream at the end of the audio and then told people if they wanted to hear the full thing to go to her Patreon. Now, the scream is the only part of this audio that you even can kind of hear. Everything else is just noise. So Molly went to the one part where you can hear something and then played it and made everybody think that if you went to her Patreon, paid the $50 and listened to it, you'd hear a bunch more stuff. There wasn't even anything else there other than that scream at the end anyway. There might have been the sound of a dog barking or a bird chirping, then the scream. So this is a complete scam. It is a complete con job. Neither of them or anyone else who's been sharing this or spreading this around even tried to debunk it. Well, thanks to the great community out there, the community was able to debunk this in just a couple hours, which shows how easy it was. So they need to make a statement. They need to tell their audience that it's fake. They need to apologize to the family. They need to apologize to the original DV situation. They need to apologize for monetizing it. They need to return the